Hey there, fantasy owners. Welcome to LTC Fantasy here. Not sure if you're chiming in watching via YouTube or listening via podcast, but really do appreciate the listener watch no matter how you're streaming the episode there. Today's our Week 8 Weekend Ads episode, so we're going to look at the schedule for this weekend, break it down, try to find you the advantage there as you make the final push in your fantasy leagues. Some things to note. Friday's really light, only 3 games. Saturday heavy as normal, 13 games. And Sunday back to a light night as per usual, only 5 games. So we will cover all teams that do play Friday and Sunday. These are the lightest nights, as well as mention teams that get 2 games this weekend to really hopefully maximize on your man games played there in your leagues. So we will start out with Nashville as they play Friday only this weekend. Then we will cover Buffalo and Dallas because they play Sunday only this weekend. Then we'll get into the 2-game teams. We'll start off with teams that play Friday and Sunday as they get both light nights this weekend. Then we'll look at teams that play Friday and Saturday and finish off with teams that play Saturday and Sunday. That way you can hopefully get those added games in, give you that little bit of an edge there. So basically, we'll get right into it. Some Nashville defensemen and forwards, they're only playing Friday this weekend. And on the back end, look at Mattias Ekholm there. Only owned in 9% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the second pairing, second power play unit. He only has 3 points the last 9 games there. So he is okay, not great in other categories there, but it is a very light night. So he might be an option for you on the back end, depending other defensemen that play Friday and Sunday or Friday and Saturday there. Up front, look at Mikael Granlund there, listed as a center, owned in 14% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit, and he has 5 points the last 7 games with 4 blocks there. He can be a little bit inconsistent at times, but he is on the top line, top power play unit, so on a light night might provide some value for you. Another one up front is Juuso Parssinen, listed as a center, only owned in 6% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the top line, second power play unit, and he's put up 5 points in the 6 games in the show so far, 11 shots on goal and 12 hits. He's off to a really good start in the NHL there, so he should be a pretty nice ad for a light night. Last one is Nino Niederreiter, listed as a left winger, owned in 22% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the third line, second power play unit, and he has 3 points the last 5 games there, 9 shots on goal, 6 hits. He has been a pretty streaky offensively, but on a light night, he is an option on the wing for you. So we'll get into some defensemen that play Sunday only. Look at Owen Power from Buffalo, listed or owned in 59% of Yahoo leagues, plays second pairing, second power play unit, and he has 5 points over the last 11 games there, so almost half point per game, 14 blocks, so pretty nice block total. He's okay offensively, and being a light night, he is an option for you on Sunday there. Another one in Buffalo is Henrique C. Hopefully I said that right. That's a tongue twister there. 0% owned, so available everywhere there. Plays on the second pairing. He has 2 points the last 4 games there with 8 shots on goal and 8 blocks. His value really is in blocks, but he is chipping in a little bit offensively, and how light Sunday is, he could be squint and see an option in a deeper league for you. Over in Dallas, look at Jani Hakanpää. Owned in 18% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the third pairing there. He has 3 points the last 6 games, so half point per game over the last week and a half to 2 weeks here. 17 hits and 13 blocks. Value really is in the hits and blocks department. Any offense is just going to be a bonus, and it being a light night, if you need that little bit of a push in hits and blocks, definitely be an option for you. Next one is Colin Miller in Dallas there, owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the top pairing. He's been pointless the last 3 games, but he put up 3 points over the previous 3 games, so he's pretty inconsistent this year, but in a real deep league, he could be an option for you with how light Sunday is there. Now we'll move along to some forwards that play on Sunday only. Over in Buffalo, look at Jeff Skinner, listed as a left winger, owned in 45% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the top pairing, top power play unit, and he has 10 points the last 7 games there with 24 shots on goal. He's really hot right now, so he basically is a must stream if he is available in your leagues, especially with how light Sunday is. You should get some pretty damn good value out of him. Another one in Buffalo is Jack Quinn, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 4% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit there, and he has 5 points over the last 5 games there with 14 shots on goal. He is getting an uptick in ice time of late. He's up in that top 6, and he's starting to produce with the increased ice time there, so you should be able to squeeze some value out of him on a light night. Next one is Dylan Cousins in Buffalo, listed as a center, owned in 11% of Yahoo leagues, plays second pairing, up on that top power play unit, and he's put up 5 points in the last 5 games there, 21 shots on goal and 3 blocks in those 5 games. He's been fairly consistent most of the year, so you should be able to get some pretty decent value out of him, especially with how light Sunday is. Another one in Buffalo is Casey Middlestat, listed as a center, owned in 6% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the third line on that second power play unit. He's put up 5 points the last 9 games there, 2 of those points being on the power play though, so he is a little bit streaky, but really only stream him in a deep league and you should get some value for you considering what's available. Next one in Buffalo is Victor Olofsson, listed as a right winger, owned in 17% of Yahoo leagues, plays third line, second power play unit, and he's put up 3 points the last 5 games as well, 10 shots on goal. He really is a hot and cold play. You're either going to love him or hate him, but if he's hot on a Sunday, you're really going to love him, and being on a real light night in a deeper league should be able to get some value for you and hopefully give you a little bit of a push there. Over in Dallas, look at Mason Marchment, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 33% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit. He's been pointless the last 3 games, but he put up 5 points over the previous 5. He does get a nice amount of shots on goal and hits, I should say, but offense is off and on, so depending how your league is formatted, he's a little bit risky, but is an option for you. Another one in Dallas is Tyler Seguin, listed as center right winger, owned in 61% of Yahoo leagues, plays second line, second power play unit there, and he's put up 7 points the last 7 games there with 14 shots on goal. He gets a decent offense and face-off wins. He does get a fair amount of that, so he could provide some value depending how your league is formatted, and especially with how light Sunday is there, and you can play him either center or right wing. Might be able to get some value out of him there. And the last one from Dallas is Ty Dellandrea, listed as center right winger, only owned in 2% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the third line, and he's put up 6 points the last 7 games there with 15 shots on goal and 10 hits. He really is having some chemistry with Ben there on that third line. Does only get third line minutes though, but with the way he's been producing of late, should be able to hopefully squeeze some value out of him on a light Sunday there. Before we get into our next segment, do want to ask you to subscribe as we're trying to grow this channel. We put out multiple episodes every week, looking to hopefully strengthen your fantasy roster, give you that edge, and we really would enjoy the support there. So now, after my little plug there, we'll get into some D-men that play both Friday and Sunday. So these are ones that get you both light nights this weekend. In Columbus, look at Marcus Bjork. Only owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the top pairing, top power play unit there. He has 4 points in his 8 games since being called up. 2 of those being on the power play, 13 hits and 13 blocks. So he's getting opportunity with Werenski out. He's chipping in other categories. Like to see that offense up a bit, but he's getting acclimated to playing across the pond here in North America. So he is chipping in most cats, and getting both light nights might be a fairly decent option for you. Over for the Islanders, look at Adam Pelech. Owned in only 7% of Yahoo leagues. Plays on the top pairing there. He's put up 4 points the last 6 games with 7 hits and 8 blocks. Really, any offense out of him is a bonus. He's more of a hits and blocks play, but he is producing a little bit offensively late. And with getting both light nights, depending how your league is formatted there, might be able to get some decent value. Another one from the Islanders is Ryan Pulock. He's owned in 32% of Yahoo leagues. Playing on the top pairing, second power play unit. He had 4 assists last game, that's why I'm mentioning him, but he can provide offense, but he is very inconsistent this year. So with both light nights in a real deep league, he might be an option for you and might strike gold. Who knows there? Next one's over in Winnipeg. Look at Neil Pionk. Owned in 64% of Yahoo leagues. Plays top pairing, second power play unit there. He's been pointless the last 5 games, but he put up 5 points over the previous 4. So he does get a nice amount of hits and blocks, so there will be some value there depending how your league is formatted. But the offense is really streaky, so overall he should be a decent streaming option depending how your league is formatted there. So now we'll move along to some forwards that play both light nights, both Friday and Sunday there. We'll start off in Columbus. Look at Boone Jenner, listed as a center, owned in 43% of Yahoo leagues. Plays top line, top power play unit there. And he's put up 11 points the last 11 games with 41 shots on goal. Fires a ton of pucks on net there. He's been pretty good in most categories this year, so he should be a fairly solid streamer, especially with getting both light nights. Another one in Columbus is Kent Johnson, listed as left winger or right winger, owned in 6% of Yahoo leagues. Playing on the second line, up on that top power play unit. And he's put up 5 points his last 7 games. 4 of those 5 points being on the power play. So definitely getting you some power play points. He's up in the top 6 and on the top power play unit and getting some decent production of late. So he should be worth streaming in deeper leagues. Next one in Columbus is Yegor Chinakhov. Listed as left winger, right winger. Only owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues. Playing on the third line, second power play unit there. And he, like Johnson, has 5 points the last 7 games there. 13 shots on goal and 10 hits. So for deeper leagues, he should provide some pretty decent streaming value for you. Going over to the Islanders, look at Brock Nelson, listed as a center, owned in 65% of Yahoo leagues. Playing second line, top power play unit there. And he's put up 7 points his last 8 games with 26 shots on goal. His offense has been really consistent this year, so you should be able to get some pretty good value and should be worth streaming if he is available. Another one for the Islanders, Jean-Gabriel Pageau, listed as a center, owned in 23% of Yahoo leagues. Plays on that third line, top power play unit there, and he has 7 points his last 8 games with 20 hits, so definitely throws the body around. He's back on that first power play unit, and he is starting to chip in offensively. Getting both light nights this weekend, depending how deep your league is, should be able to get some pretty decent value. Another one from the Islanders is Oliver Wahlstrom, listed as a right winger, owned in 11% of Yahoo leagues. Plays on that top line, second power play unit there, and he has 5 points the last 8 games, so not bad offense, not really great. 13 hits, so his offense is pretty streaky, but is on the top line. Get some power play time there, being on the second unit. So in a real deep league, he is a streaming option for you. Going over to Winnipeg, look at Blake Wheeler, listed as a right winger, owned in 41% of Yahoo leagues. Plays second line, second power play unit there. He has 6 points the last 4 games. I'm recording this on Tuesday. I believe he also got a couple of points tonight so far, and 4 blocks in there. So he's been fairly consistent, so he should be a pretty good offensive streamer if he's available in your league there. Next one's Cole Perfetti, listed as center, left wing, and right wing. Like that you can play him in any of the forward ranks there. Only owned in 11% of Yahoo leagues. Playing second line, second power play unit. He has 3 points the last 4 games. Believe he also got 2 assists tonight so far. So that'd be 5 points in 5 games. 9 shots on goal, 3 blocks. The kid has talent, and he's been inconsistent this year, but he seems to be trending in the right direction of late. Should be able to squeeze some value out of him, getting both light nights there. So now we'll get into some defensemen that play both Friday and Saturday. Look at Keandre Miller from the Rangers there. Owned in 21% of Yahoo leagues. Playing top pairing, second power play unit. And he has 3 points the last 5 games there with 10 hits. So in a real deep league on a light night, he is a streaming option for you. His offense, not bad of late, but overall picture, it's not the greatest. His value is more in the hits league. So in a real deep league, should be a streaming option. Over in Ottawa, look at Jake Sanderson, owned in 47% of Yahoo leagues. Plays second pairing, second power play unit. He has 4 points the last 6 games there. 18 shots on goal, 14 blocks there. So you get a little bit of everything with him. He contributes in most categories. So he should be a fairly safe streaming option depending how your league is formatted there. So now we'll move along to some forwards that play both Friday and Saturday. Top of the board, look at Alex Lafreniere from the Rangers. Listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 24% of Yahoo leagues. Playing third line, second power play unit. He has 3 points the last 4 games there. 8 shots on goal, 5 hits. He's been really hot and cold this year, so he is a bit risky, but in a real deep league, might be an okay streaming option. Next one from the Rangers is Philip Chittle. Listed as center right winger, owned in 9% of Yahoo leagues. Playing third line, second power play unit. And he's put up 8 points the last 10 games there. So his ice time is creeping up, and with that, he has been producing over the last few weeks. Should be able to squeeze some value out of him if you stream him this weekend. Over in Ottawa, look at Derek Brassard. Listed as center left winger, only owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues. Playing on the third line, second power play unit. He's put up 4 points the last 5 games, so pretty good for the old bugger. 12 shots on goal, 11 hits, and 3 blocks. He's been pretty decent of late. He is pretty streaky, though, so really I'd only stream him in a real deep league. Next one in Ottawa is Matthew Joseph. Listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues. Plays on the third line, second power play unit. Just like Brassard, 4 points the last 5 games there. 10 shots on goal and 10 hits. So, as I mentioned, similar to Brassard, been decent of late, but realistically, he's only a real deep league option for me. So now we'll move along to some defensemen that play both Saturday and Sunday. Start off in Anaheim, look at Cam Fowler. He's owned in 14% of Yahoo leagues. Playing top pairing, top power play unit there. Been really hot. 10 points the last 7 games there. 16 shots on goal. He's been really hot of late, and just with that, you should stream him if he is available in your league. Should be able to get some pretty decent value this weekend. Next one's over in Minnesota. Look at Kalen Addison. Owned in 9% of Yahoo leagues. Playing second pairing, top power play unit, and he's put up 3 points the last 3 games there. He really is an offense-only play, and that offense with him being a rookie has really been hot or cold. Right now it's hot. Before that he was pointless for quite a few games in a row. Then he threw a bunch together at the start of the season. So with that inconsistency, there is risk. There is risk, but there definitely is reward. So kind of fair warning if you do stream him this weekend. Another one in Minnesota is Matt Dumba. Owned in 23% of Yahoo leagues. Playing second pairing. He's put up 3 points the last 5 games. So right around half point per game. 8 hits and 6 blocks. He does produce a nice amount of hits and blocks. His offense is a little spurty, but should be an okay streaming option overall this weekend. Going over to San Jose, look at Matt Benning. 0% owned, so available everywhere. Playing on that second pairing right now. He's put up 4 points the last 4 games there through 8 hits and 11 blocks. So he's getting opportunity with a banged up blue line there, so he might be a little bit spurty, but he's getting opportunity, and in a real deep league, he is producing another Cats. Should be able to squeeze some value this weekend. Finish her off with some forwards that play both Saturday and Sunday. Start again in Anaheim. Look at Adam Henrique, listed as center left winger, owned in 9% of Yahoo leagues. Playing top line, top power play unit. And he's put up 9 points the last 10 games there with 25 shots on goal and 7 blocks. He's been pretty good and pretty steady for most of the season there. So he should be a pretty good streaming option, especially getting 2 games this weekend. Over in Chicago, look at Max Domi, listed as center, left wing, and right wing. So you can put him in any of your forward slots there. Owned in 22% of Yahoo leagues. Playing top line, top power play unit there. He's put up 7 points the last 9 games, so decent offense there. 23 shots on goal. His offense is okay, and remember, he is playing with Kane on that top line and top power play unit. Getting a couple games this weekend, can slot him in either forward spot there. Should be an okay option for you. Next one in Chicago is Jonathan Toews, listed as a center, owned in 21% of Yahoo leagues. Playing second line, top power play unit there. He has 3 points the last 5 games with 4 blocks. He was pretty good, but the last little bit he's been a little more streaky with his offense there, so adds a little bit more risk. Does get a ton of face-off wins, decent amount of blocks for a forward, so you should get some value. It's just the offense streakiness of late that kind of worries me a little bit, but in a deeper league, definitely a viable option for you. Another one in Chicago is Philip Kurashev, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues. Playing on the second line and top power play unit. He's put up 5 points the last 6 games there with 11 shots on goal. He really has been hot or cold this year, so that adds a little bit of risk. Right now he is hot, so with getting a couple games this weekend, might be able to squeeze some value more in a deeper league option for you. Over in Detroit, look at David Perron, listed as a right winger, owned in 63% of Yahoo leagues. Plays top line, top power play unit there. He's put up 8 points the last 7 games there. His offense is good. Gets quite a few shots and hits for a forward there. So you should get decent value for him as a streamer this weekend. Another one in Detroit is Lucas Raymond, listed as a right winger, owned in 56% of Yahoo leagues. Playing second line, second power play unit. And he's put up 10 points the last 12 games there, so just hair under a point per game over the last while here. So he's been heating up, and with that, you should get some value this weekend out of him. Another one in Detroit is Tyler Bertuzzi, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 42% of Yahoo leagues. Playing second line, second power play unit. He has 3 points the last 4 games with 11 shots on goal. He just came back from injury. He's been 3 points in 4 games, pretty good, but kind of not a lot of runway to gauge how much value you're going to get out of him. So keep that in mind. He's kind of a risk-reward kind of a play. Another one in Detroit is Andrew Kopp, listed as center right winger, owned in 16% of Yahoo leagues. Centering that second line on the second power play unit. And he has 4 points the last 5 games there with 10 shots on goal. He really has been hit or miss in his first year in Motown there, the hometown kid. But in a deeper league, he is a streaming option for you. Over in Minnesota, look at Sam Steele, listed as center left winger, 0% owned, so pretty much should be available in every league out there. Playing on the top line and second power play unit, and he's put up 3 points the last 4 games with 7 shots on goal. Playing with Kaprizov and Zuccarello, he is getting some opportunity. The offense is coming. So, but realistically, just with his track record, should only be streamed in deeper leagues. Another one over in San Jose is Thomas Hertl, listed as a center, owned in 62% of Yahoo leagues. Plays on the top line, top power play unit there. He has 13 points the last 11 games, 20 shots on goal, 14 hits, 10 blocks. He's been really good pretty much all year, so if he is available, he'd be one of my top options to stream this weekend. Next one in San Jose is Alex Barabanov, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 5% of Yahoo leagues. Playing on the second line, top power play unit. And he's put up 8 points the last 9 games there, so basically point per game, 16 shots on goal, 7 hits, and 7 blocks. He's been really good of late, contributing in most categories there. So depending how your league is formatted, should be a pretty good streamer getting a couple of games this weekend. Next one's Logan Couture, listed as a center, owned in 49% of Yahoo leagues. Plays second line, top power play unit there. And he has 12 points the last 10 games, 21 shots on goal, 20 hits, and 9 blocks. So he's contributing in most categories there. Should be a pretty safe streamer for you this weekend. And I didn't include him in the list, but I'm recording this on Tuesday and just seen Kevin LeBlanc got a couple of points. He is streaky, plays on the top line, but he really is streaky. So maybe this is an uptick for a hot streak for you, a little bonus forward to maybe think if you're in a pinch there. That's it for today's episode. We'll be out in a few days with our Week 9 strategy episode. If you did like it, remember to hit like, hit subscribe. Remember that notification bell if you're watching on YouTube there. If you're listening via podcast, remember to hit that heart, hit follow, hit subscribe. That way you don't miss out on future episodes. And good luck this weekend in your matchups there, fantasy owners, and we'll talk to you soon.